taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Sunday, July 30th, 2017. Now, what I think is going on today, really the word I can use to describe it is like a period of like incubation. Today, I think we're very internal today about what's going on inside us, a little bit emotional, dealing with some stuff that's going on, really trying to get right with ourselves, where it's not so much about pushing forward and about making things happen externally and about a lot going on outside of us. It's more about the inside stuff and what's happening there today, which I guess is good for a Sunday in some ways. The reason why I say that is because we had the moon move into Scorpio at the very end of yesterday. Okay, really bringing more of our attentions to our feelings, to the deep stuff in some way, really bringing us inward to focus on some of this stuff that is going on. Okay, I think that is happening there, which could be a little unsettling for some people who aren't used to going to the depths, but could also be a good thing. I think why it could be a good thing is because this moon in Scorpio is also in a sextile with Mercury. So all of these feelings that we're feeling that are happening are really meant to help us understand ourselves better, understand our situation, think about our lives more clearly, figure out what we need to do in life to move our life in the right direction, to really support these feelings that we have in a really kind of solid and stable way so they don't get the best of us. Okay, so I think there are some good things there that we're using today for really just a chance to think and get right with ourselves and figure out some of our feelings and come up with a plan moving forward. It could be a little frustrating for us though, especially around 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Eastern, because we do have the moon in a square with Mars, which happens about that time. So I think after really focusing inward on stuff that's going on inside us, perhaps we feel some, I don't know, perhaps we want to move forward, perhaps we feel impatient or anxious or want to do something about our life to make stuff happen. You know, Mars likes to make stuff happen, and I think that could be a little bit hard for us today because we don't want to make stuff happen. We want to focus internally on what's happening inside us and that kind of thing, and maybe we don't quite have the energy or the passion or whatever it is that we need to really, you know, do what it is that we need in a really big way to make, you know, to just be bold and to move forward and to be big. And so I think that might be a little bit jarring around that time. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that I think might happen. I think as well we could perhaps be a little frustrated too that we're not able to move forward on some of our commitments, on some of the things that we want to do in some way, feeling a little frustrated as well that we aren't able to move forward on some of these big things and big chapters in our life that we know are coming. I think that's not working out right, but I think we are definitely trying to get insights about our life, about what's going on, about what it is that we feel in some way to make sense of all of these changes that are happening to us, about what's going on there, and to really get in the right perspective. Okay, so I think to me that's what this day is about. If you can figure out how to be comfortable with not perhaps being as productive as you were in other days and without being as passionate or pushing forward as you were, and to really use the time to focus on what's going on inside, I think that it'll be easier for you. I also think it'll be easier too if you try to figure out as well how to use some of these deep feelings that you're feeling, all this stuff that's going on inside you, to kind of do what you're doing better or to do it differently, or to just figure out how to take some of these deep feelings that you have to kind of bring them into some of your projects. So even if you feel like you can't move forward on them in the way that you want to move forward on them, that you're still kind of making progress, doing things a little bit differently. I think there's like a weird kind of like back and forth balance you may have to do to bring more of your emotions, more of your heart and soul, more of these deep feelings into the work that you're doing and into where your life is going. So I think that's what's happening there. On top of that, we still do have Venus. Well, Venus is at the 29th degree of Gemini too, making a lot of stuff go on in relationships. Relationships could be very, very excitable as well. Lots of communication happening in relationships because this is the 29th degree happening there, especially with people around town. Also when it comes to passion projects too, perhaps lots of stuff going on with that. Even with money, lots of communication and talk about money could be happening. Venus is also in a sextile with Uranus and a square with Chiron tomorrow too, or today too, so there could be some unexpected things that come up with relationships and with money and with passion projects that aren't the most comfortable, that we're trying to figure out. I think that could be happening too. So while we're trying to get right with ourselves and move forward, I think we're being a little bit torn in some other directions to act and to move forward, and unexpected things coming up in relationships. It's a little hard for us that we're going to have to figure out how to get right with ourselves and be comfortable and be at peace in our own space, but to tend to some of these other things in a way that where it all comes together. Okay, so I think that is what is going on there. Now, your card for the day is the Seven of Pentacles upright. This to me is actually a good card. It's a card of reflecting on your life and on what's happened to your life lately and where your life has been, and thinking about, is there a better way for me to do it? Is there another way for me to do it? Do I want to continue doing what it is that I'm doing? And I think today's a good day for you to think about that in some way, and to put everything in the right perspective, and to reevaluate things and figure out, where do you go from here? And I think you got a chance to do it with all this stuff in water, really encouraging you to reflect and to look inside. And I think the message is not only reflect and look inside, but also take it outwardly as well and put some of that stuff into action to make it happen. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on Facebook, please like it on YouTube, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.